Hi, it's Robbie here at Brenco Guitars. I just want to say a quick thanks to everybody who voted for us in the recent Great Guitar Build-Off 2021 competition. All the votes meant a lot to me, I have to say that. Thank you very much to everyone who voted. So now that we've got the Great Guitar Build-Off of our system, we can get back to some of our regular scheduled programming, and we've got some new guitars to start working on now. So on the workbench today, we've got another guitar in for some minor surgery. And today's instrument is a Gretsch 5420, left-handed. This is a new instrument belonging to P. Holiday, and we're going to be doing some minor modifications. We're going to be taking off this tailpiece and fitting a Bigsby vibrato and just doing a little bit of a setup on it and whatnot. So we're going to take you through the process now. Just taking you in a little bit closer to have a look at the instrument. It is absolutely gorgeous. Some nice 4-ply binding here. This is the Korean made version of, it's kind of like the 6120 a little bit, but it's just fantastically gorgeous. Got the usual little thumbnail inlays on the fretboard and that, and it's fantastic. And so the main thing we're going to be doing today is, as we said, we'll be taking off this tailpiece and we'll be adding our Bigsby here to it. So we've got the Bigsby and we've got all our parts and stuff as well. So that's going to be our main job, and we'll just get rid of a few. There's some fret buzz and stuff that we'll take care of as well. We'll give the whole thing a bit of a setup anyway. So as I said, we'll press on now, we'll get the strings off, and we'll get ready to line things up, make sure our Bigsby is going to align. And we're pretty much okay in terms of where it's going to line up. Our strap button here screws out, and that should line up exactly where it is on the Bigsby. However, the other screw holes don't, and it'll mainly be this bottom one here is still going to be exposed, so we're just going to leave the screw in place afterwards, see how that looks, and it should really take care of things, kind of just covering up that hole. So that's the main, how would we say, construction work we'll be doing that, and then the rest is just minor kind of setup stuff. So as we said, we'll press on ahead now, and we'll get the strings off and get ready to press on ahead with adding our Bigsby. So we're just down at the end of the instrument here, and we've got our strap button here that just simply screws out. And then we've got 3 screws holding in the plate. The upper part of the tailpiece just comes off. So we can take this off now, and we still have our little strap button knob sticking out here, and that's going to be the center point for when we put on our Bigsby as well. So we'll just get these screws out now. And just put my hand over the top just in case anything should try and slip or scratch. And we'll be keeping all these pieces, and Pete is going to hold on to them just in case it ever needs to be restored back to its original condition. So you see now where we've taken the plate off, you can just see this small piece of silver tape here, and what's behind that is actually our grounding wire for all the electronics to make sure they're in contact with the strings at all time. So you have to make sure when we put our Bigsby on that our Bigsby is making contact with this piece of silver tape here to make sure we've got good ground continuity all the way. And we'll make sure that definitely happens when we put it on. And you can just see where our screw holes were there as well. So next thing what we'll do is we'll get our Bigsby and we'll get that nicely lined up. So we're just checking the alignment of our Bigsby here, and we actually had to take out the strap button there. It was going to be in the way where it was. So just checking our alignment, and when we do replace the strap button, it's going to be just on the edge of our silver tape just here. So we'll have to drill a new hole there for that, and that's just where, as we said, our ground wire is as well. So you have to make sure we avoid cutting or drilling through that, as it's going to be amazingly difficult to try and refish it through if we had to. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some strings in place, and we're just going to make sure our alignment of our Bigsby is exact, and then we'll mark our holes and get ready to drill those. So I'll just show you how we're lining up our Bigsby here. Hopefully this shows up. I actually used black thread here to try and think it'd show up more, but it shows up less. So I've got some black thread. We're running down where the high E and low E strings would be. You can just see it there. Going over our bridge in the correct position. We've taped them in place on the little ferrules there where the strings go. And we're just making sure things are perfectly lined up. This mightn't come across on camera, but it's we're pretty much laser like straight all the way down. And then when we come back here, we have the slight issue where our Bigsby is right on our center line and looks absolutely perfect there, but the remaining screw that's left over from the original tailpiece is slightly off center. So we're going to take some photographs of that. We'll be sending it on to P, and he can let us know what he thinks. But in the meantime, we'll get the rest of the Bigsby secured down. And so we'll get that, we'll double check our alignment, triple check it, quadruple check it, the whole lot, make sure it's all lined up, and then we'll mark those 3 positions for our screw holes, and we'll mark as well, we'll be drilling as well for our strap button to go. So that's our next thing. We'll just triple, quadruple check everything, and then mark our holes for drilling. So we've got our 3 holes marked here now. And with this hole here, we are dangerously close to this one here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little wooden plug and we're just going to fill up that hole first, just so when we drill that one we don't blow out the edges here and risk the screw threads being exposed there. So as we said, we'll glue that up first, leave it, and then we'll come back and we'll drill out our 3 holes here. So we'll leave that glue to dry for a couple of hours, probably overnight, and we'll come back to it tomorrow. We'll trim it all up nice and flush, and then we can drill our access holes for our screws for the Bigsby. So we'll come back to that now tomorrow. So that's our hole plugged up now, and we're just giving it a quick touch of some cherry red stain there just to cover it. And so what we can do now is we can see where our mark is for our holes. We can get those drilled out and get ready to attach the Bigsby. So we've just taken some masking tape here, and we're just using that to cover up where our holes are going to be and protect the finish. And we've remarked our first hole, so we can drill our first hole out now, and the masking tape will stop any chip out of the finish or anything like that. So we'll drill our first hole, we'll attach our Bigsby, make sure everything still continues to line up, and then we'll remark our 2 holes and re-drill those. So that's our first screw in place, and I don't know if you can make out the center seam of the guitar here, but we're right on line with the center line. Again, as we said, meaning this original screw is off center. So with that in place, we've got our Bigsby now. What we're going to do is, again, we'll throw on 2 temporary strings here, and we'll just make sure everything is perfectly 100% aligned and that we're perfectly happy, and we'll come back and we'll drill our other 2 holes for our screws then. So just to show you, we've attached a couple of strings here, a high and a low E, just to see how things are. And not sure how this is going to come across on camera, but everything is pretty much bang on straight there, coming right down our neck and straight down to the Bigsby. So all nice and straight. So with that now, we can now drill our second 2 holes and secure them in place, and we should almost be good to go. So that's all our screws in place now. So what we can do is we can string her up properly and make sure everything works okay. And once that's done, then we can come back and we can get ready to put our strap button back in. So we've got her fully strung up now. And the Bigsby's working nice and well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get our strap button back in place down on the tailpiece here, and then we're just going to give the instruments a bit of a setup. We've got a few little buzzes here and there we're just going to get rid of. So as we said, we'll get our strap button in, quick setup, and we should be good to go then. So now with our strap button in place, our Bigsby is all done, good to go. So that's the whole thing done and dusted, and ready to go back to its owner now.